Good morning, everybody. Shefa Baruch V'Atzluchem. We're in parashat Vaera, the second parasha of Sefer Shmot, Sefer HaGeula, and it's very interesting to see the way everything is developing. And let's not forget, last week Moshe Rabbeinu is being sent to save Am Yisrael. He goes to Pharaoh, and instead of things going better, they get even worse. And of course, Am Yisrael complaining, "What have you done?" But nevertheless, we see that Moshe Rabbeinu himself is complaining, why have you done this? Which is a real chutzpah. By the way, or Chaim HaKadosh says this is a chutzpah, and this is why our parasha starts. 1 minute, let's find it. Vaydaber Elokim. Elokim is midat adin, is judgment. Va'el Moshe vayomer elav ani Hashem. I am God. Hashem Avaya, which is mercy, Rachamim, Chesed. And why is this combination of both names? So first of all, like Or Chaim HaKadosh says, Vayom Vaydaber Elokim. Elokim, God is talking with Moshe Rabbeinu with midat adin, with judgment. How dare you speak with me like this? I did wrong. I send you. You dare to tell me that I didn't do what I promised? And then he says, I am God, I am Hashem, I am Rachamim. Maybe you didn't see it, maybe you didn't notice it, but you have to understand and realize. I didn't reveal myself, as he said before. Vaera אל אברהם ואל יצחק ואל יעקב באל שדי ושמי השם לא נודעתי להם. When I was revealing myself to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, our ancestors, I didn't reveal them my name that I'm revealing myself to you. And this is why, by the way, it's not because Moshe Rabbeinu is greater than Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Of course not. But it is a different level, a different way, a different time that God has to appear in a different way, and in a minute we'll talk about it. But in the meanwhile, we understand that from one point, God is really telling Moshe Rabbeinu, how dare you? And on the other side, he's not really punishing him. Because we have to understand, Moshe Rabbeinu is not asking those questions because he thinks God is wrong. He's asking it from the love of God and the love of Am Yisrael. And this is why he's not getting punished, because God understands it. The simple version of this idea is Vaydaber Elokim El Moshe is this. God is really what he is telling us, to everybody. And we have it, by the way, in Shema Yisrael. In Shema Yisrael we say, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. So we have Hashem, which is Midat HaRachamim first. Then we have Elokim, Midat Adin, judgment. Then we have again mercy, Chesed, which is Hashem. Why do we need 3 times the name of God? And why do we need in the middle judgment, Elokim, and from both sides, Chesed? And one of the explanations is a beautiful explanation to tell us, understand, that we have to understand and realize that there is no, God is Chesed. Even if it looks bad, God is Chesed. Even if it looks like judgment, like Elokim, it is good, it is Chesed. This is why, by Shema Yisrael, Hashem, Chesed, Elokim, Din is in the middle, but it's covered from both sides with Chesed, to understand that even Elokim that looks to us like, wow, look what happened, it's really Midat HaChesed. And this is what God explains to Moshe Rabbeinu. You think that what happened with Pharaoh and Am Yisrael is going to have bad consequences? On the contrary, this is only the way to lead to the full Geulah. And by the way, he's telling you have to understand, things are changed now. This is now I'm going to reveal myself in a different way. You will see miracles that are miracles that nobody can deny, because now it's a proof. The whole idea of Yetziat Mitzrayim is a proof for the existence of God. Because when God created the world, there was no witness, and nobody saw that God did it. Adam HaRishon, and then Avraham Avinu discovered God again, and Yitzchak and Yaakov, we all know the story. But then through the generation, it was getting worse, and people starting to worship idols and forgot about the real creator of the world, which is God. And God also took Am Yisrael out of Egypt, and one of the reasons was because if he wouldn't have taken him that time, there will not be anybody to save, because they were so involved and mingled in the Egyptian society, as we talked before, and that's where the old surah started. But also now we'll see next parsha, Chamushim Yatzu, only 20% got out of Egypt. So in other words, what God is telling him, now we have this is going to be something else. I'm going to reveal myself in a different way, not the way that I revealed myself to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, this is going to be something spectacular. This is going to be something unbelievable, in order to show the whole world that God is God. This is also why we have all the plagues in three parts. One part, the first part, says, I am God. You have to understand, there is a God. You, Pharaoh, said there is no God. Here, I'm showing I'm God. Then you have to understand, I am not up there doing nothing. I am looking on everything that's happening here, every minute, every time. This is Ashgacha Pratit. I'm looking at every creature, especially of Am Israel, in any minute. That's Ani Hashem Bekerev Haaretz. That's the second series of the plagues. And then the third one is En od milvado. There is nobody else. You think, okay, there is a God, okay, and he looks after everybody, but maybe others. No, there is no others. In other words, the whole idea of Yetziat Mitzrayim is to prove the whole world, and especially to Am Israel, that God is one, and God is the only one, and he is the creator of the world. This is why it says, this is going to be something that in the beginning, there will be a darker and darker stage, and then from the dark will come out the big light of the Geulah. And this is what it says, Vayidaber Elokim el Moshe ve'amar Ani Hashem. I am God. So when we go through sometimes stages that are not so easy and it's hard, let's remember this. Vayidaber Elokim el Moshe ve'amar Ani Hashem. God is the real thing, and he is all mercy, and he only wants our best. And sometimes it doesn't look like it, but it's exactly what it is. When we have to understand now another thing. So God is sending him to Pharaoh to save Am Israel, and look what he's saying. The Torah says, "Vayidaber Moshe ken el bnei Israel." So he's going to he's talking. By the way, why is he first of all talking to bnei Israel, which is also very interesting. 1 minute. Lachen emor livnei Israel ani Hashem. You go and tell Am Israel that I am God, and I'm going to take you out, and you have the foolish not Geulah. I'm not going to go into it. Avetchem el haaretz, chule vechule. Natati, and he's talking to bnei Israel. ולא שמעו אל Moshe, and they don't listen to him because רוח ועבודה קשה. Why? They have hard work, you know. He's talking with them about Geulah, but the real truth is that right now the only thing that they think about is surviving, because things are even got worse. And how can they listen to what Moshe Rabbeinu? ולא שמעו. וידבר השם אל משה לאמור, okay, you go and talk with Pharaoh. וישלח את בני ישראל מארצו. 1 minute. Bnei Israel didn't listen to me. The one that I want to save didn't listen to me, because they were. Why will Pharaoh listen to me? In other words, what he's saying is, this kotzer ruach that Am Israel have, Pharaoh, he hasn't got it. So what kal vachomer is there? For the Rashi said, this is one of the 10 kal vachomer in the Torah. What kal vachomer is it? Is Pharaoh suffering from kotzer ruach? He's getting a hard job? No. For him, he's got it very nice. So why should he listen? The one that I want to save, they don't listen. The one that doesn't need saving, who cares? Why would he listen? But that's not true. The real thing is, we have to understand. Yes, Am Yisrael not listening because kotzer ruach v'avodah kasha, but Pharaoh is the one who's going to lose the whole thing. If he's going to listen. Why? Because if he's going to release Am Yisrael, he's going to lose this very cheap slaves. So then he's going to be in kotzer ruach. He has to go and find new labor to do all the things, the jobs he needs. So if Am Yisrael, those are the ones that I want to save, didn't listen, why should the one who has to release them, and by this, when he releases them, he's going to lose a power of workers, why should he do it? But there is something more here. We have to understand. What is kotzer ruach v'avodah kasha? One way of explanation, by the way, is that the kotzer ruach was not from Am Yisrael, is what was of Moshe Rabbeinu. What do I mean? Moshe Rabbeinu, after he came in the first time, and he talks to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh, instead of releasing Am Yisrael and saving Am Yisrael and doing things better for Am Yisrael, he's doing worse. So he also lost a little the faith. Now, if he lost the faith, the way he's now telling it is not the same. You know, I always remember I once got a phone from a saleswoman. She was trying to sell me something, but you know, she talked very monotonely with no regesh, with no how do you say, feeling, and like very dry. And when I asked a question, didn't know what it's all about. So who is going to buy something from her? Nobody. Even if I need what she wanted to sell me, I wouldn't buy from her because she didn't know to answer me, didn't believe in the product. And that's exactly the point. When you want to sell something to somebody else, the first of all is you have to know what you're selling and who do you sell it to and how to talk with him. Because one of the things is telling us that the problem Moshe Rabbeinu, why didn't Am Yisrael listen to him? Because he was talking too high. He was too high. He talked to God. God was talking to him. So when he talked to Am Yisrael, his level of talking was too high. And Am Yisrael couldn't listen to him. And of course, Pharaoh is not going to listen because he's got nothing with the spirituality of Am Yisrael. So the other thing, if you want to sell something, first of all, you have to believe in it 100%. And then you have to talk in a way that the guy, you have to understand who you're talking to, that he's going to understand what you're talking about. So that's also a very important thing in sales. So I always remember we are bringing orthopedic chairs, ergonomic chairs in the professional language, which are very expensive. And when we started bringing it, it was very hard to sell them. We hardly sold. And why? Because people looked at the chair. It looks quite similar to the other chair, which were half price and even less. So why should they buy this? Then we realized that we cannot sell it just. We have to understand what we're selling. So we really learned about orthopedic and ergonomic and what the chair is doing. And now we saw, wow, there are two things happened. First of all, we understood what we're talking about. But then we realized how good the chair is. So we knew what it's all about, and we believed in it, and we started selling Baruch Hashem, unbelievable, though they were very expensive. In other words, if you want to give a message, if you want to sell something, you have to understand what you're selling and believe in it and talk to the people the way they understand what you're talking about. This is the only way you can do it and sell it. And this is what the Torah is trying to tell us. When we want to spread the message of God, first of all, we have to believe in it. Then we have to know how to talk about it and who do we talk about it. For example, it happens sometimes that we send our children to school, and let's say first grade, second grade, the third grade, they're very, very successful, especially, let's say, in mathematics. Then, the fourth grade, things are changing, or the fifth grade, things are changing. And don't understand, he was like the best in the class. He got 100, excellent, all the tests he did. And so suddenly it's all going down. We're checking what's happening. They changed the teacher. And the teacher now is not the same. He is not connecting with the students. He doesn't, let's say, give the message in the right way. Either is boring or is too high, whatever. And this is exactly the point. If we want to educate our kids, if we want to give the message to the next generation, to the people, we have to know how to do it. And the first thing is, first of all, know what you're talking about. Do you believe in God? Why do you believe in God? What is the idea of believing in God? And then, who do I talk to? At what level? You cannot go to talk to a kid in first grade like you talk to an adult that learns in university. There's a whole different way. And you have to be with fire, with itlavut. And then you will sell also in the physical world and also in the spiritual world. This is the idea. How to pass the message on. And this is why, first of all, God is sending Moshe Rabbeinu to Bnei Israel. Because you want to take them out of Egypt. But if they don't know what it's all about, what's going to be? You have to take them out of Egypt, says the Rebbe Mekotsk. If we thought that the problem was taking Am Yisrael out of Egypt, no. The problem was taking Egypt out of Am Yisrael. Because it was so deep inside this culture and this idol worshiper of the Egyptian, that they had it very hard to get out of it. And that's what we see later on, that only 20% get out of it. So the first thing is, tell them what it's all about. Let them understand that I am God. And they were saying, then, when they believe, then you can go to Pharaoh and convince him. And the big lesson for us is that whatever it is, if it's in the business field, if it's in the knowledge field, if it's in the spiritual field, which we're talking about, know what you're talking about. Believe in it and know who you're talking to. All the best. Shefa Brucha v'Hatzlucha.